Thanks everyone for joining. It's hard to believe that 2 years ago, or just pushing 2 years ago, most of us were on the same call when the New North and Generator and myself came up with this crazy idea. And it's amazing to see how it has not just grown in Northeast Wisconsin, but expanded across the entire U.S. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that is on this call. It has been an amazing journey. What started out as just this idea when COVID started, and we were like, oh my gosh, unemployment rates are high. How do we quickly skill talent and get them into jobs? And Generator, thanks to their agility and flexibility, were a great partner as we ventured into what now is called Generator Skills Accelerator. And so I want to thank all the partners that helped with that initial funding. I want to thank the New North for their leadership in this, not just from here's what we're doing in one community, but here's what we're doing across the region. And then today, that expansion with the Bay Area Workforce Development Board and their role in, and I think just excitement for what they're looking to do in the future of innovation when it comes to workforce. And then finally, bringing both economic and workforce development and community development, we need partners like United Way. And so I want to give a special thanks out to them also. Their quick agenda today, of course, Michelle Schuler, Microsoft TechSpark, kicking things off. We'll turn things over then to the New North, and then over to Bay Area Workforce Development. We'll open it up for some Q&A, and then we'll close with United Way. And when I think about this from a Microsoft TechSpark perspective, this is like the perfect scenario where we started out with an idea of how do we help people quickly digitally skill and get placed into jobs. And that's really where people were not included. So when I look at digital inclusion, that's where we were lacking. So we quickly spun up Generator Skills Accelerator, and we moved to that enablement piece where we started digitally enabling people to skill and then find jobs. That quickly, over the last 21 months, has digitally transformed the region and is now, I'm really excited about Bay Area Workforce Development and their efforts to take this into driving some systemic change. Then we're right back to digital inclusion, and we're working on now, how do we think about digital literacy as a community, and what does that mean to get people into programs like Generator Skills Accelerator or into our technical colleges. Then I look at what about Generator Skills Accelerator? That can't be the end. It should just be the start of somebody's journey. And so our technical colleges and our four-year colleges, how do they play a role in this? So there's a lot of really fun and exciting conversations being had across the region, and it is happening across many avenues. This is just one of them. So from here, I'm going to actually turn things over to Barb Lemieux at the New North. And I just want to say a special thanks to everybody that has been on this journey the whole time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. And it was only appropriate for Michelle to kick this off because almost 2 years ago, she did kick it off, giving me a phone call and saying, hey, I've got this idea. And then we immediately looped in Generator because of our relationship and the work that we did with them more on the entrepreneurial front, and knew that they could pivot very, very, very quickly. And we wanted to create a program that would address digital skilling for people that were disproportionately affected with the pandemic, with job loss, and at times the loss of hope. So thank you to Michelle and her philanthropic team that did put significant dollars into the creation of this program. We're here to tell you we are so proud of what everyone collectively has been able to do. What started here in Northeast Wisconsin is now in 15 states. We're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it expanding. I also want to thank Rebecca Duchesne on our team, who was critically important in helping in the delivery of the various modules. I think one thing to note is this skilling generator skills accelerator did get some national attention and some statewide attention. It won the Wisconsin Economic Development Association Award in talent development for the state, kind of a best practice. It was also a finalist in the University and Economic Development Association. Here, Rebecca did travel to Texas to be able to accept that recognition on our behalf. So thank you so much, Rebecca. As we continue to roll on, we can do the next slide, please. I think it's important to note, again, we are looking at a program that is touching thousands of individual lives. And these are not just one person, but it's the families that are also involved in once a participant gets involved in this program. We are seeing their standard of living being increased by receiving the digital skills that ultimately lands them in well-paying careers. Here in Northeast Wisconsin, that might be on a different slide. We can move to the next one, please. What I wanted to share with you here on this slide is, first we did host Governor Evers and Secretary Hughes back in July of 2021. It seemed like this happened years ago, and it was less than a year ago. We hosted them at Titletown Tech, and we wanted to bring in individuals that, they all were working on self-improvement. They were in training programs. There were different models that across the region we've have identified as best practices. Rochelle on the left-hand side, she shared her very impactful story. She described that she was in really a dead-end job. She was sacrificing her family time just to make ends meet, working multiple jobs, and really just felt like she wasn't getting anywhere. And she reached out to us and the team. She was plugged in to the first cohort. She went through customer service. She is gainfully employed, and she shared a quote that I think is impactful. She said that the program provides so much coaching and support. You feel a sense of community, and it creates a sense of hope. So she is here to talk to anyone that might be on the fence. Is this the program I should get myself involved in? She's willing to clearly share the results of it. We thank Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. They are continuing to look, the state is looking at this program as a model that can be moved into other portions of our state as well. Next slide, please. It's kind of the metrics on our New North region. We've had 97 graduates, 443 certificates, 73 placement rate, and I think that even went up to like 81% after 3 months completion of the program. You will see that the majority of the participants are women or a diverse population, and that clearly was the intent of the program when it got stood up. We just finished our 5th cohort, and we can move to the next slide, please. Thank you. We have many Wisconsin companies and those that have a presence in our New North region that are very much engaged. Many of you are on the call today, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to call out in particular American Family Insurance and Thrivent. Through their philanthropic arms, they did financially support the creation of this program. We thank you. Next slide, please. And now I want to turn this over to Matt and team. We could not be more grateful that they saw the benefit of this program, and we're taking it now to the next level. And through their efforts in working with Generator and the pre-skilling accelerator model, we're going to be able to transform workforce development to even a greater extent than we have already had all across our region. So thank you, Matt. I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Michelle. Certainly my honor to be with this fine group of folks here today. Talk a little bit about, I don't think I'm going to use the full 10 minutes about what we do as a workforce board, and super excited about this newly formed collaboration with Generator and New North, and we'll get into a little bit of that in a second. So really the last the pandemic, if it was anything positive for us, it really allowed us, that caution flag time, using a NASCAR reference, where we're able to pull in off the track under caution and really reimagine ourselves, redesign what it is we do, how it is we do it, and trying to predict what type of challenges we are going to face post-pandemic. So my team, a super talented group of folks, we began meeting with all kinds of different organizations that we didn't have formal partnerships or collaborations with, and we learned a lot in that period of time. And certainly the need to address digital upskilling and equity issues was certainly one of those common themes. Which we then parlayed into a more broader strategy, which includes really addressing hidden talent inequities across our entire 11 county region. So for those that aren't familiar with workforce boards, traditionally we operate with Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act funding, which really is three primary programs: adult, dislocated worker, and youth. But what we found over the last 5 or 6 years, there's certainly been the decline in accessing those services, and for a variety of different reasons. The economy was much improved. We had a high workforce participation rate, but we still weren't addressing the 33% of adult working age Wisconsinites that tend to be underrepresented and in many ways disenfranchised and marginalized from not just the workforce, but in many ways their communities. So partnering with New North, COMSA Community Services Agency, We Are Hope up in Door County, African Heritage, just some really interesting organizations, Baxent, of course, where it's going to take us to the next level as a workforce development system as a whole. So this slide really depicts that overarching strategy of increasing equity and diversity, inclusion, as well as in belonging within all of our programming. So the center stone, if you will, represents our primary funding streams. And what we do, we try to braid our funding into all of our programming so that we can provide a much more human-centric design, holistic model to meet the customer where they are in the communities in which they live. So the goal here, again, this is unproven. Some of this can be considered evidence-based, but a lot of it isn't. There's no book that's sitting on the shelf that I can pull off and says, here's how you operate workforce development programming post-pandemic era. So we're really excited to partner, and we're going to learn a lot. And all of what we're doing here can be sustained indefinitely through our more common traditional funding streams like WIOA. I told you I wasn't going to take the full 10, Michelle.
Well, with that, then, thanks both Matt and Barb. Yeah, I'm excited now, Cole, to talk about Generator and give us some insights and behind the scenes, if you would, please.
Awesome. I had some issues going off mute there. I apologize. You'd think this far into being fully virtual, I would figure out by now, but apologies on that. As Michelle said, I'm Cole. I'm the Vice President of our Skills Accelerator here at Generator. And I want to just take a moment and thank everyone, not only on this call, but specifically the people that you've been hearing from, Michelle, Barb, Matt, everyone on their teams that have really made this program possible. We sat here about 2 years ago, 20 to 24 months ago, really devising what this would look like. And we're sitting with a program today that has been able to not only be successful in Northeast Wisconsin, but nationally. And this is one quote that I really love from Joe, the co-founder of Generator. And we really look at Northeast Wisconsin as a showroom for the rest of the country. We had a pilot program for this Skills Accelerator back in August of 2020. We had 19 graduates and have then gone on to scale this program to anywhere from Anchorage, Alaska, Orlando, Florida, New York City, and everywhere between to truly address the needs of the communities that we work in. So working in about 17 different markets, 600 plus graduates, and then not only graduating people with new skills, but then able to take those skills and have them apply them in a new career. So those are some things that we're really proud of here at Generator. We really try to focus on underserved communities, 61% women, 59% people of color nationally, and really proud to say that in Northeast Wisconsin, and we actually have 69% women. Not only 69% women, but 69% women in typical careers that are very male dominated. We've ran IT admin programs here in the region and things where you might expect maybe 30% women. So we really try to focus on those underserved communities and make sure that we can meet people where they're at, deliver the program, and make sure that they're successful. So I want to take a moment to really talk about how it works. A lot of you have been with us along the journey and you probably already know roughly what we've been doing. But when I look back to that first pilot program, for those of you that don't know, I think we ended up with maybe an 8 to 9 day program, which people look at our 5-week program and say, whoa, that's so quick. You're rapid. It's a rapid reskilling program. But we were successful with that 8 to 9 day program. We have since learned that we want a little bit more time, but this goal is still to quickly skill people. So I want to take a little bit of time, talk about what the program looks like, and run through a couple of the key pieces. So when I think about generative skills, there's 3 main buckets. And what we're able to deliver on is we're going to find people, we're going to train them, and then we're going to place them into new roles. So let's talk about finding people. Recruiting, we really have a philosophy of leaving no rock unturned within the communities that we work in. We're going to reach out directly to individuals. We're going to reach out to organizations that typically are going to be working with unemployed individuals to make sure that we can let everyone know about the program within their network. We're going to do some social media pushes. We're going to advertise in the region and really, again, make sure that everyone that deserves the opportunity and needs the opportunity has the opportunity. So I have a handful of logos. I know there should be 50 more logos on here, and know that everyone on this call has been extremely helpful throughout this process, and want to again say a big thank you to everyone that's been helping spread the word about the program. And we do have a program coming up that I would love your help in shortly here, so I'll talk a little bit about that. But I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who has helped us along the way here. Now that we've found the people, we're going to go through a cohort of about 25 to 35 folks that will join us for the program, each cohort. In each cohort, we're really going to be identifying what the labor needs are of the community. So here in Northeast Wisconsin, we've done a decent amount of customer service and sales curriculum. We've done IT admin, as I mentioned. We've done project management. And what we're doing is really looking at some of the labor needs, looking at the data, seeing what open positions are within the employer network that Generative Skills has, what the local employer needs are, and making sure that we can truly address the needs of the community. As participants join the program, they'll go through the self-paced curriculum provided by LinkedIn Learning and Microsoft Learn. Our curriculum is set up in a way where people, depending on the what they're doing in their life, it can truly address their time commitments that they're able to have and meet them where they're at. So if they want to be doing it at 2 a.m. once their kids go to bed, go ahead and knock themselves out. We've had people working through the learning on maybe a lunch break or while they're commuting, whatever it might work best for their life. We are able to meet them where they're at and make sure that they're able to learn the skills that they need. We'll be bringing in our career coaches who will work with participants on a one-to-one basis, making sure that participants are successful, not only in the program, but really in life. So we look at our career coaches as a participant's chief goal setter, their #1 cheerleader, and their biggest advocate to help them succeed. Our career coaches will be working with participants on deliverables like resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn profiles, interview prep, things that you would expect out of a program like ours. And then we'll also bring in weekly expert speakers. They'll join us for a lunch and learn that will be about an hour long. It'll be more interactive than the coursework that participants are going through. And we'll have about 30 to 45 minutes that expert speaker will come in and talk about maybe a career skill, or they're going to talk about some of those employability factors. So resume building, interview tips and tricks, LinkedIn profiles, etc. And then leaving the rest of the time to answer questions, network with our participants. And all of the lunch and learn speakers that we bring in are very open to helping our group out. So they'll offer up an email address, they'll offer up their LinkedIn profile. Many of them actually have really great relationships with our participants that ended up reaching out to them. Some have made introductions to different employers, whatever they can do to make sure that they can engage best with our participants. At the end of the program, all of our participants will receive not only a certificate of completion from Generator Skills, but also along the way, they're going to receive certificates of completion from LinkedIn Learning. So to date, I think we're about 2,900 certificates have been issued to our graduates, which we're really excited about. But it's not a handshake and see you later after they complete the program. We really want to make sure that they're not only learning the skills, but then able to use those skills in a new role that can support themselves with. So we come to placing people. Once graduates are ready for their job search, we're going to bring in our employer network. We have over 400 employers nationally, and I think Barb mentioned it earlier on in the presentation, we have over 40 employers based specifically in the region, and many others have an office or have a presence within the region that they're hiring our specific Northeast Wisconsin graduates for. We'll bring in those employers. Each of them has committed themselves to taking a closer look at our graduates. We have an open communication with their hiring department, talent acquisition, maybe the hiring manager, to be able to reach out directly and help our participants through the process, making sure that we can give them some tips and tricks as they're interviewing with that specific company, but also on the flip side, helping that employer out. We want to make sure that we're addressing the employer's needs at the same time. So we'll be giving as much feedback as we can to that employer, talking them through the process. Sometimes we'll actually set up the interview and just have everything facilitated by Generator as best as we can, but really making sure that we can walk both of them throughout that process and make sure that we can kind of play matchmaker. Additionally, our long-term job placement support is one thing that we're really adamant about. We're not going to place someone and just say, oh, you got placed and we're not going to talk to you ever again. I always like to mention that Generator as a company, we've done a lot of work with startup founders. So back in 2012, we have startup founders that we worked with back then. We still meet with many of them monthly, if not more. And same can be true for our skills program. Once people get placed, they might have some needs. Maybe a year later, they'll reach back out to us. They'll still have access to all of our employers, access to the support that they need. And we really want to make sure that we're not just placing people and saying goodbye. We want to place them and still be supported as they continue their career. So we're going to offer up some mock interviews, be able to give participants direct feedback during that process, making sure that they feel confident and have as much support during that interview process as they can. We have hiring events. We'll bring in maybe 15 to 20 different employers to meet with all of our graduates. Oftentimes we'll actually do a specific hiring event for a specific company. So maybe we'll bring in Associated Bank for a full day hiring event. Associated Bank might have a couple of hiring managers join. They have maybe a couple different positions that they're hiring for, and we'll have a specific event for their hiring needs. Additionally, we have a bi-weekly job opportunities email. We'll send out that email with some of the priority roles for our participants to take a look at. Those priority roles are typically ones that we know are hiring in mass quantities, or we have a really good relationship with that employer and know that we can try to push them through the process as best as we can from our perspective. But at the end of the day, all of our graduates and all of our participants will receive access to our exclusive job board, which brings in all those employers into one place for those participants to take a look at, apply directly, and then from there, they'll let us know that they apply to the position, and we'll reach out to our contacts to make sure that we can push them through the process. So we'll be working through all of that. Participants are able to filter through it if they're interested in a customer service position or a certain remote versus in-person type role. Maybe they're interested in a specific industry. We really want to cater our employer network to the needs of those participants. And with that, I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up. We have a upcoming program that's going to kick off in the region June 27th, which will be focused on customer service and sales. It'll be a 5-week program helping under and unemployed individuals out, and we would love to have your help with sharing this opportunity. I will follow up via email, or Michelle will, with all the information that you might need to promote the opportunity to your network. And again, are extremely appreciative of all of the support. We'd love to have you share that with your network. If you know anyone that would be a good fit for that, program, please let us know. So that's one way that we can definitely use your help. Secondly, we'd love to have any introductions to local employers. I know that we have some employers on this call as we speak. We'd love to talk to you about how we can better source some talent for you, have you get involved with some of our graduates, and just see how we can best help out. So with that, I'm going to take a sip of water and see if there's any questions. And if there's anything that's popping up in the chat, Michelle or Claire, feel free to jump in so I can monitor some of those.
Yeah, the chat's been quiet. We'll give everybody a few minutes here. Feel free to ask questions, whether it's on Barrier Workforce Development Board and some of the advancements they've been making, or even on Generator specifically for what's coming up in June.
Hey, Michelle, this is Matt. If I could just make one comment to Cole's remarks regarding finding people, which is something I didn't mention in my comments, has really, the wheelhouse of the Bay Area Workforce Board, or most workforce boards, has been training folks, particularly in high demand vocational related industries like advanced manufacturing, healthcare, IT certainly be one of those. And finding employment. We're extremely adept at those two aspects of workforce development. In recent years, we've been extremely challenged with finding people, and that's certainly one of the things that appealed most to me in the last year as we've had these conversations, is connecting the disconnected. And so we need to have more innovative, more creative, harness available and emerging technology in order to connect those folks. And so that it's $1.5 million doesn't just represent a significant investment on our part. It's a long-term commitment. So again, we're very thankful that we can be a part of this collaboration, and the timing of it is absolutely perfect for our own transformation.
Cool. There is a question on the chat in regards to your job coaches, if they're actually Generator employees or contractors.
Yeah, all of our career coaches are Generator employees. So they've been trained through Generator to deliver as the one-on-one career coaching to those participants. And we do actually have an open position for career coaches and program managers. I don't know if it's still active on our site, but we're currently working through that process. If you know anyone that would be a fit, feel free to reach out to me directly if you don't see that on our website. Happy to have some of those conversations with anyone that might be interested. So I'll put my email in the chat, but it's cole@generator.com for anyone that might be interested.
So Cole, there's a question asking about participants. The program itself and/or employees or employers as of 2022 talent marketplace has significantly changed from where it was in 2022. Have you seen any change?
Yeah, I would say there's been a decent change. I look back at that first pilot program that we ran in 2020. We had in that cohort a lot of hospitality workers, people that were furloughed at the time or laid off due to COVID and the unemployment crisis that we were going through. That has continued. We've still worked with a lot of folks transitioning out of hospitality. You think about a role in customer service, and a lot of hospitality workers have that core skill that's transferable into a future role in customer service. But one thing we saw with that program that we see a little bit different now is we're now getting into folks that are maybe more on that underemployed side, people that are looking for the next step in their career. So we're seeing that a decent amount. And we're also finding, to Matt's point, a lot of the hidden talent, people that haven't been into the workforce. Or haven't been in it recently. So people that maybe were stay-at-home mom for 5 years, people that are originally retired and now coming back into the workforce. So we're seeing a little bit of a change in the type of people that we're working with. And it's been interesting over 2 years seeing the labor kind of change a bit, and you'll see the labor reports come out on a monthly basis, and our skills team probably looks there at those and are like, oh, we saw that a month ago or 2 months ago. And it's really interesting to see everything unfold in front of us. But you'll see some trends with maybe some teachers trying to pivot their career, or we saw a phase where some nurses and folks like that were trying to pivot their career. So we'll see a lot of trends throughout the years and continue to see that. But the key piece of the puzzle is people still need skills, whether they're reskilling or upskilling. People need the ability to skill and continue their career trajectory.
So Cole, the question was asked in regards to internet connectivity and devices. And then I saw the libraries that also chimed in and said, hey, we're here. And so that's also fabulous. But how have you been solving that problem currently?
Yeah, great question. Libraries are a great one. So we're glad that someone piped in there. But what I like to say is, and I know this is a core mission of Microsoft and the work that we're doing with Microsoft, but for someone to learn a new skill virtually, they can't do that without broadband access. They can't do that with devices. So we look at that full ecosystem of first, we need to figure out how we can supply participants with broadband access, devices, and then skill them, and then ultimately have them able to get a new role, whether it's remote or in person. So it's definitely been top of mind, and I know that's kind of a buzzword right now. So we are partnering in each of our regions with different organizations that are able to provide those resources. One key part is libraries. We've been partnering with them. You might see us partner with co-working spaces in some other regions. Specifically for Northeast Wisconsin, our partnership with Bay Area Workforce Development Board is allowing us to supply participants that are in need with broadband access, devices, and even some other support services that might be coming up. So we're excited to welcome any and all into the program, regardless if they have any issues with broadband access or devices or anything else that might be coming up. We're still going to encourage them to reach out, still encourage them to apply. And then as we're going through that application process, we're able to identify what those barriers are and make sure that we can address those, again, either through devices, broadband access, other support services, or anything else that might be coming up.
Matt, do you want to add anything there from a device or connectivity perspective?
No, Cole's exactly right. And so we certainly recognize as you go further north in our respective 11 county region, those become some real challenges. So our rural areas tend to be those that with very limited or strained resources. So, but I made a comment earlier about we're adapting our own service model to ensure that we provide comprehensive, holistic services, which include the technologies and the devices that Cole mentioned in order to achieve life success. So, no, we're fully on board and recognize support services are a key part of workforce development.
Any other questions coming up from anyone?
So Cole, I'm going to ask you to share what's been your favorite story through all of this.
Oh, interesting.
Because nobody was asking fun questions. Come on.
I think there's a couple of things that come to mind. For me personally, I think Rochelle's story is one that will stick with us. That Barb mentioned, she was able to use the program not only to skill herself and receive that new role, and that new role was actually within our portfolio network here at Generator. So it was a startup that we actually invested in ourselves. So it was like that full circle win for us here at Generator. She went on to actually get a promotion at the company, and then she was able to take custody of her niece and nephews. She pointed to her feature in New York Times and some of the other press that she was associated with as her improving her life and showing that she was able to take custody and support them. So we were really excited about stories like that. There's probably 200 more stories exactly like hers, and I always tell my team this, that we always talk about those metrics, and you saw us go through some of those slides of X number of people, X number of certificates, this percentage of this, but really circling that back to really realizing that those are people, one more graduate, one more placement, it's really someone that's improving improving their life. And really putting that in perspective is a huge piece of the puzzle that we really try to focus on here at Generator. And as I'm saying that, the other kind of fun thing that I've enjoyed most is after we started this pilot program in Northeast Wisconsin, have grown it not only to those markets, but now have a team of over 20 folks that work on this day in and day out. And our team are some of the best people that you'll ever meet. I know that some of them are on this call right now. They're passionate people. They really carry out the mission of Generator in this program and are impacting lives every day. And I know that they don't need me to say that to them because they see it firsthand and really see the benefit of the work that they're doing. But it has been a true honor to grow the team and grow this program across the country and be able to impact even more people. So it starts with people like Rochelle, and then it goes to people like Caesar and El Paso. We have Jessica and Anchorage, all these people in all these different regions that I could sit here and go on and on about with their actual story. But it's not only the impact of the people, but the people that we're able to support here at Generator and have them come to work every day knowing that they're having an impact.
Oh, thanks, Cole. We're going to wrap things up with Robin from United Way. I want to say thank you before what Robin says our parting words. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you, Cole, and to the other presenters. Thanks for the invitation to hear this update. I am so excited, and some of the words that jumped out to me, but before I go into that, for anyone that doesn't know, Brown County United Way, we're located in Green Bay. We're about to celebrate our 100-year anniversary in 2025, and our mission is to unite people, resources, and ideas to create community solutions that strengthen every person in every county, but certainly in Brown County, every city, every community, with a vision towards seeing an inclusive community where everyone is able to access optimal education, financial well-being, health, and community connection. And in this space, when we're talking about digital upskilling, I mean, this is critical, right? And when we talk about who benefits, I loved what Barb said. It's not just the individual that goes through the program, it's the family. And if we even want to extend it, it's the neighborhood, right? And the whole community, right? When one of us gets better, everybody gets better. And what was a crazy idea, look at how it expanded. It's not crazy anymore, right? It only stays crazy until it becomes successful. And then folks go, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? The power of this initiative is in the breadth of partners, right? That it wasn't just Microsoft. Microsoft can't do it by itself. So we need business, we need nonprofits, we need healthcare, we need education, we need everybody coming to the table. And what resource, what person, what idea can I add to the pot? And as you leave here today, I hope that some of these words resonate with you because they resonated with me. Hidden talent, it's out there, right? But what are we going to do about intentionally discovering that hidden talent? And then when we discover it, what are we going to do to support, right? I saw somebody put in the chat, coaching is key. Every step of the word. It's not just check the box and here's the data. And yeah, we pushed this many people through and got this many certificates. But what happened afterwards? What's the rest of the story? What's the qualitative story that goes behind the data? These other three words, if you were on at the beginning, inclusion, enablement, and transformation. There's a reason why those words were, Michelle chose them. And with each step, it's intentionality, right? Each of us coming and thinking outside of our own individual world and what can we bring to the table to move our community forward. So I'm very excited about what's already been reported and shared, what's to come. I'm at a conference in Madison with a regional United Way conference, and one of our colleagues is going to be presenting tomorrow on Tequity, talking about bridging the digital divide. And so I'm super excited to be able to say, hey, here's what's happening, not just in Northeastern Wisconsin, but here's what's happening across the country. And wherever you're coming from for this conference, go back home and find out whether it's happening in your community. And if not, reach out to us and we're going to help you make it happen. So thanks so much again for all of the great work that's already going forward. Thanks for inviting us. And we're going to continue to explore what are the ways that we can also continue to be involved. So thanks so much, everybody. Thank you, Michelle, Cole, everyone who's been on the call today. We appreciate you.
Thanks, everyone.